Well, we just spoke about a huge and growing number of Syrian refugees, and the United Nations Refugee Agency has numbers to back it today. The UNHCR predicts 2015 will set a record for the number of people forced to flee their home country around the world. Bruce Harrison joins me live in the studio. Bruce, the High Commissioner for Refugees warned forced displacement is likely to exceed 60 million people for the first time ever.
Hello, Connyoung. That's correct. The figure is staggering. And according to the UN agency, that means that roughly 1 in every 122 people living today has been forced to flee their home. Most are escaping war, especially the conflict in Syria. 1 million alone have crossed the Mediterranean Sea this year seeking refuge in Europe as well.
So, Bruce, what's the outlook like for the crisis in Europe and displacement just overall?
That's a good question. There's a few indicators being used to measure the situation. One is voluntary return rates of refugees. Now, that's a measurement of refugees that return to their home country by their own will. And according to the UN's report, those rates are at their lowest level in 3 decades. The crisis this year has been especially hard on Europe as countries struggle to provide refuge for hundreds of thousands of refugees. The situation has strained Great Britain's negotiations to remain in the European Union as well. Prime Minister David Cameron announced today, though, that he thinks there's a pathway to a deal with the EU.
It's going to take a lot of hard work, but what I sense tonight in the room, that there's a lot of goodwill, there is momentum. People want a deal that keeps Britain in the European Union by giving us the European Union itself.
Cameron's refusing to budge on 4 demands, and the EU has indicated 3 of the 4 can be met. There's disagreement over the 4th, which would deny EU migrants in-work benefits for 4 years upon arrival.